Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening from. If you're just joining me, I am talking to you live about income replacement. If you're watching on another day, fine. Feel free to share this video. Feel free to book an appointment. The links is in the bio. You want to book a consultation with me and see how we can get this strategy done for you and your family. That's all right. So I want to quickly jump in. Let's quickly get that started right away, right? So I'm just going to do something really super fast, super quick. The topic is um, on scenarios, right, of income replacement. So number one, today, I want to talk to us about families in the diaspora, right? Many families, will have one or two, situations that might go wrong with them, right? One person takes, the role as the primary earner of the family. Another person takes the role as the one that will maintaining the household and doing all kinds of stuff, taking care of the kids, taking care of the bills, making sure that the home front is good. Now, ensuring that the home front's financial needs are met, that's majorly one person's goal. A lot of people will argue with me that Helen, it's the man's duty, but we know we're in America. In America, it could be the wife, it could be the husband, it could be the partner. For those people that are not married, it could even be one person, maybe a single mom or a single dad, right? This person we're talking about, let's bring it back home, right? In the African setup, I'm Akwa Ibom by tribe, so I want to use much, like similar names that we're familiar with. Let's call this breadwinner Mr. Akpan, right? So Mr. Akpan supports his family through their job. This is Mr. Akpan. You're going to meet Mr. Akpan today. He's the main breadwinner. And then he has his wife. His wife's name is called Ada. Pretty Ada, right? And then guess what? They have kids. They have three beautiful children. They have Imo, their first son. They have Chidi, their daughter. And then they have a baby, Ebube. Ebube is 7 months old, right? Imo is 6 years old and Chidi is 4 years old. This happy family, they're wonderful family, happy married family, pushing it like every other family you know. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you know any family that right now in America, in anywhere in the world, that has beautiful children, everything's going on well for them, big car, big house, right? Now, the number one major debt that every family wants to hit it, right? When you come to America, they'll tell you, oh, by the way, you can get, this big family with a wide picket fence. That is everybody's dream, right? Now you go and get the major thing, which is everybody's number one goal, which is a mortgage. Now, if I were to ask you, is your mortgage or that house, the beautiful house, is that an asset or a liability, right? A lot of people will argue with me that it's an asset, right? But guess what? It can be a liability, right? But let's just leave all that for now. Let's keep it focused. Now, the goal is to tell you why you need proper protection in times of, right, situations that you cannot control, the situations that are far above you. Now, let's go on with this. Now, after incurring that major, mortgage, most families, if you are in the East Coast, in West Coast, people actually pay close to $1 million for a home. Some people pay $500,000. If you're in Texas, where I am, you could get a 4 or 5 bedroom home for convenient amount, maybe 350, 400. If you're not lucky, you could maybe be averaging around 600. Depends on your budget, right? Everybody has their own taste, their own budget. Location matters, is also the factor of the price point. Now, aside from you having your regular mortgage, guess what? You also have bills, right? You have your credit card bill, you have your car notes. For those of you that like to drive brand new car, you want to go to the dealership, you want to pull up in a very, very slick car. You want to, you need to have it at back in mind that you're going to incur something called the car note. Now, what else? There are living expenses. These living expenses could be your groceries, your internet bill, your phone bill, the essentials that make you keep living. Now, on the average, a lot of people do not understand that there is more to keeping that lifestyle that you see. Once you turn on your phone and you go on the social media, you see a wonderful family, looking nice, lovely clothes, smelling nice, pulling up good cars, nice neighborhood. It costs a fortune to have those kind of things, right? Now, guess what? This same family, Mr. Akpan's family, he is the main breadwinner, right? As it's supposed to be, right? Now, guess what? He supports his family through their job, through the job that he has, covering every of these bills from his mortgage payments to his daily expenses and even the educational costs, right? The cost of education, your children, if most families do not even think about that cost, right? Because in America, you just need to live in a good neighborhood to put your kids in a good public school. But some people might take it an extra notch higher. They want to put their children in a private school. If you're one of those people, you want to listen to me very well. Like I said, share this video with as many people as much as possible, right? But what happens if Mr. Ackman becomes seriously ill and can no longer work? Most people do not talk about this, right? Most people do not talk about the implication of Mr. Ackman falling ill due to a critical, chronic, or terminal disease. Most people do not understand that as much as possible that you want to keep that bills going. Some people's monthly bill can average around 5,000, 10,000, depending on the lifestyle that you choose. Some people's bill can just be $2,000. Their workload might not be as, heavy as most of you. Somebody said something to me recently. He said, once you see people pull up in fast cars, beautiful cars, lovely homes, they smell nice, wearing all the label, they're labeled up and down, living in nice zip code, guess what? They have all this flashy stuff, but they do not have disposable income. If something were to happen to them, short term, 3 months, long term, 6 months to 1 year, they are going to go crashing down. These people will literally lose their minds. They will lose everything they've worked so hard to keep. Why? Because a lot of people do not understand that the system we're in is not, set up to enable you, take a time, maybe 1 or 2 months off. No, you don't get that special leverage. You don't get that time off, right? You don't get that luxury. Now, the financial implication of this scenario that I'm placing to you today can be devastating to some families. And this is where the importance of life insurance that has living benefit comes into play, especially with one that has coverage options that can help you, achieve that goal. Now, guess what happens? Now, if Mr. Akman here falls sick, two things will happen, right? He's going to put stress on his wife, right? Because guess what? She has to replace that income. I don't care if Mrs. Akman, in this case, Ada, if she has her own job, maybe she's a nurse, she works in healthcare, she's a teacher, she's whatever, maybe she's a stay-at-home wife, or she has an income that she brings in doing the business on her own, and then Mr. Akman's income is here. Now, the typical American family or people over here, it's a two-income family. What if one income goes down? Now, in this case, it's Mr. Akman's income. His income goes down. What happens to Madam Ada, right? She has to double up on that income. She has to clock in overtime. Remember, she still has the children to take care of. Maybe she might just decide, okay, maybe neighbors, could your neighbors really help you babysit? Or who does the school runs? Who takes care of the home? Now she has to work extra hours to make sure she balances that income that just got displaced. Because if somebody were to fall sick, picture this in your mind. If you fall sick and you're able to go in and clock out, you are not going to bring in that income, and that's a loss of income for that family. Now, guess what? You're going to leave your spouse. It could be in this scenario, it's Mr. Akman. It could be the other way around. Maybe the wife is the one that brings the higher income. What if anything happens to her? Now, that family is financially stressed up, right? They're financially stressed up. Now, guess what? The bills are piled up. She has to keep these bills paid, because if you don't pay your mortgage after a long time, maybe 5, 6, 7 months, you're going to get, foreclosure on that home. If you don't pay your car notes, they're going to repossess the car because you don't own it until you pay it outrightly. And your regular, monthly expenses, what is that expense looking like for you, right? How can she keep paying these bills? This is where the bulk of the problem comes in. A lot of people do not consider this fact. Now, let me tell you something, right? Immediate financial impact that will happen to that family, like I said, number one, you lose that income. When Mr. Akman falls ill, the most immediate concern is the loss of the income, right? And without their earnings, the family might struggle to meet their daily expenses. Like I said, the mortgage payments and other bills will be piling up. Now, number two, the medical expense. Have you thought about it? If somebody falls sick and you don't have the right coverage, health coverage, trust me, you're going to be, your issue is just double. It's double barrel, right? So let me tell you what's going to happen. Serious illness often comes with high medical costs. You don't pray to have any critical or terminal disease. If it's chronic, that's okay. But guess what? Any form of disease, it could be a pain in your neck, even something as little as a cut in your body or a boil can give you, pain. So the financial implication to this is that, including hospital stays, the treatment, medication, and possible long-term care, all these expenses is going to deplete the family savings if you have one. You know what I mean? Now, number three, household adjustments. The family will have to adjust, right? The family may need to make immediate adjustments, such as hiring help for house chores. Like I said, if the wife was the only one doing those things, she probably want to, adjust, make sure she has childcare so she can clock in extra hours to be able to cover for that stuff. And this is adding financial burden because nobody does anything for free, right? This is not Africa where we're from, where somebody can decide, hey, I want to help you, where they tell you community, whatever. No, this one right here, even sometimes your neighbor will tell you, come, you got to pay me for this hour that I'm going to watch your children, right? Because once you have extra people in your house, that's extra bill, water bill, extra light, and all the stuff. I don't want to go into that. Now, the long-term financial impact of this thing that we're talking about, right? Aside from the ongoing cost of the medical stuff, what about the debt accumulation, right? Without a steady income, the family may need to rely on credit card, on loan to cover their expenses, leading to accumulating debt. And this is the major cause why people get financially stressed. When you see people say, I'm making so much money, but I'm financially in a bondage, you cannot really achieve financial freedom utilizing this strategy. That's why I'm telling you today, if you're listening, I'm talking live, right? If you're listening on another date, you want to take action. Like I said, you could go to my page or on the details. You want to be able to click the link and it will take you to book a 30 minutes free appointment with me so we can sit down and look at what the scenario or the situation is with you and profile solutions for you, right? Regardless of what your situation is, there's always hope. Now, the impact on savings and retirement, right? The need to dip your hands into your savings or your retirement fund to cover medical bill, living expenses can jeopardize the family's long-term financial security. This is key, right? This is very, very key. Now, one thing that you need to understand, I'll take that back. Let me go back right a second. What you need to understand is everything that we do in life has repercussion, right? Right? The impact on even your children's education. Say, for instance, Mr. Ackman remains sick for long term due to a terminal illness or chronic illness that he has to live with. Now, that wife has to be the one dealing with all that. What are the children going to do? The financial impact may force the family to cut down on educational, expense. The children might need to walk while going to school. Is that what you envision for your children? Could this be what you want your children to achieve? Now, let me tell you what you need to understand, right? Having the right proper protection on your family is crucial to ensuring that you live the desired dream that you want. So the role of life insurance right now, when people hear of insurance, they get scared. No, you don't have to be scared because what we're telling you, it has living benefit. What I'm talking to you, strategy number one is how you can have income replacement upon a life-threatening disease or illness, right? Life insurance can significantly alleviate the financial burden in the event of a serious illness, especially if you have the right protection, a properly structured one for that matter. Income replacement, certain life policies offers critical income riders, right? Illness rider, providing a lump sum payment if the secure or the insured person is diagnosed with a covered illness. Let me tell you what that looks like. Say you were told that you have a critical illness, a terminal illness, or even a chronic illness, right? The policy will pay you lump sum cash that you will use to take care of your living expense, ensuring that all you have toiled for over the course of years, the lovely house you have, the property you have, the school zone, and everything that you've suffered to get your family to be at, given the zip code that you're currently living, you can maintain that lifestyle. You don't have to cut down on anything. That money pays you the lump sum. You could settle the mortgage. You could pay off the cars. You could pay off the credit card debt. You could even pay your children's college fund while you are praying to get ill. I mean, well, right, by the way, right? You can't have double problem, right? And you don't know what to do. You rather just you know what, financial issues sorted. Let me just deal with myself and God and work on my habits or my lifestyle to ensure that I reverse whatever situation, right, is going on with my health, right? Another thing that you understand that the money pays out to the critical illness, right? Rider, right, that can come to you can be used to cover medical bills as well, right? And also debt protection. Now, the life insurance plan that you choose, having the right structure in place, making sure that you have those riders, like I said, that covers you when you fall sick. Guess what's going to do to your debt management, right? That existing debt as a mortgage, like I said, the loans, reducing your financial stress is going to take all that burden off you, right? And then you get to focus. You can't be sick and be financially stressed. That's double for your trouble, right? Living expense, living benefit here, right? Like the policies allow the insured to have access to certain debt benefits. Now, when I said debt benefits, you are still alive, you're not dead, right? So that's the collateral that you are alive. You since you still have blood flowing in your vein, you still have a pulse, you have hope, right? So, but you can get that money. It could pay you as much as 90%. In some cases, 70% paid out to you. Imagine if you have $1 million coverage and they give you 70 to 90%. What is that number going to do like for you in your entire lifetime? Would you keep clocking in and clocking out and make that kind of income? No, right? Let's be frank with ourselves. But these are what you get to do. And then lastly, it gives you peace of mind, right? Knowing fully well that your family, has a safety net that allows your family to focus, right, on what's important, right, which is getting Mr. Ackman to be well. Why? They're dealing with, the bills kept is going to be on autopilot, is getting paid, and all that. But guess what? The most important thing here is the family. Once you have sickness, you have financial difficulty, the family unit is going to be messed up, right? So sickness of a major breadwinner can, have profound, far, reaching financial consequences on that family. Life insurance with living benefits, particularly policies with critical, chronic, terminal illness rider. Some policies even give you critical injury, making sure that if you have even anything wrong with you, you are protected, right? You're protected. It's called living benefit for a reason. You want to write that word down, living benefit. So when you book an appointment with me, you want to make sure you ask me, Helen, tell me about the living benefit strategy, right? Now, guess what? Offers essential protection and peace of mind by planning ahead, right, with the right thing. Now, like I said, for Mr. Ackman, if he were to fall sick, this money that is going to be paid out is what we call income protection. It pays him a check, right? It could be 70%, it could be 90%. Now, Mr. Ackman, while he's getting ready to get well, he's going to be focusing on his health. His wife, who is the home front chief officer of the home office, she's going to take care of those bills, right? What are those bills looking for like? Right? She's going to take care of the mortgage. She's going to take care of the living expense. She's going to take care of the car notes, credit card, whatever bills, educational bills, right? And then when he eventually gets well, they're going to be well again. But guess what? You see the smile on the faces of the children, knowing that the plan that Mr. Ackman and Mrs. Ackman had for themselves, for the family did not get thwarted because of unplanned and irresponsible, lifestyle, right? Their children get to go to college. And then lastly, the family has financial security. This is crucial, right? That is scenario, the scenario number one that I spoke about. Now let's go to scenario number two, right? Scenario number two, this one, this one is where everything becomes sour, right? Because guess what? Scenario number one, there's still option for him to get well. Now, worst case scenario, right? Say Mr. Akpan were to kick the bucket, right? Due to an accident, right? He eventually, got in an accident. Untimely death kicks in. What is the plan in place that you have? Now you hear stories and you'll be like, "Oh Lord, my John," you'll be like, "It's not my portion," blah 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 blah. But do you have the right plan in place? Do you even control the next hour, the next minute, the next second that you have? Do you know what your life, would hold? So upon the death, right? Lots of income. If somebody were to die, same thing. I'm not changing anything here. What I'm just talking to you about is this family is going to be stressed up. Remember, now the burden will be placed on Madame Ada to carry that family while she's grieving, right? While she's losing her husband. That's her soulmate. That's her best friend. That's her better half. She lost that partner. But then in the diaspora, after people go in and do the GoFundMe with you, they come and tell you all sorry and all kinds of stuff. Guess what? Reality kicks into place. Now you got bills to pay. If you don't pay those bills, you're going to be thrown out on the street. Your children will not need to go back to a different zip code that you do not envisage that you'll ever be in. Think deeply, right? And that's financial stress, right? It doesn't go away by praying, fasting, and all that. It goes away if you have the right plan in place, right? I'd rather have somebody that is financially, stressed up, but they have the right plan in place. Why do I say so? If this man were to die today, it could be the wife, it could be the man, whoever the major breadwinner is, right? Right? It doesn't even matter if that's the major breadwinner. The fact that you have two people bringing an income, if one income gets lost, remember your mortgage is a joint debt. All these things are debts. If you don't know what that is, I'm going to tell you about that in a second, maybe another day. Or when you book an appointment with me, I'll tell you what that is. Now, guess what? Upon the loss of the income due to the debts, the family is going to suffer, right? The same thing happens to the debt. They're going to incur a lot of debt because the wife is going to be thrown with a lot of stuff, right? She's going to have a lot of challenges, making sure she meets up with the obligations, right, that is faced in front of her. Foreclosures are there, repositions are there, in-laws are there, people trying to take access of what you have, right? People trying to even take advantage of you, right? What is that financial cost looking like? Most people do not understand that if somebody were to die, there's something called financial cost of the funeral, right? Now, most families will get to, there's going to be a freeze on your account, right? Now, most people do not understand that until it happens. You see people that are wealthy, they still do a GoFundMe, they still rely on friends, committee of friends, WhatsApp committee, people passing basket here and there to try to help you because they're going to freeze your account. And that process takes about 2 months to 2 years to 6 years, depending on the asset that you have, right? What are the plans in place for you to put your loved one to rest? If you want to send your family back home to Africa, for some people to tell you, no, I have to go back to my motherland, to the land of my birth, to my village and all that stuff. That's all well and nice. But guess what? That's going to cost you about 15 to 25,000 to fly just the body alone. We're not even talking about the children and the wife or friends or whoever want to go with it. And then the cost of burying the person back home. You're not talking about that cost, right? Now, I'll tell you what, if this person had this policy in place, the check will be paid out. Now, in this case, it's a terminal illness or a sudden death. Now, that money would pass on to the family. But before it passes on to the family, the insurance company will release some funds for you to take care of the funeral expense. And then this woman will replace that income and keep paying those bills while she focused on raising the children that were left by this man. Some people would tell me some funny stuff. In my little years as a financial professional, I hear all kinds of stuff. Somebody would like, God forbid. So my wife would use the money and go and marry another man. Let me tell you something. It's even worse for other people to take care of your kids. What happens if your wife is unable to take care of the kids and she has to clock in and clock out and do night shift and leave these children all by themselves and the children get taken by the system? Now, what if something were to happen and the husband and wife were to pass on? What are you doing to make sure that your children do not go into the system, right? Do you really have family or friends that would take your kids, all three of your kids in one home, or they will have to split your kids? And then what gain do you enjoy? So what this family is going to do, this woman is going to take that money and focus on raising her children. Her living standard does not have to depreciate. She doesn't have to sell her body or succumb to anything, right? Some women will even be glad to take the money with the hope. Every time they think of you, they're like smiling and say, yes, we miss you, but you did the right thing. Now we see have a roof over her head. The car is paid. The bills are paid, right? You could structure this money if you don't want to give them the lump sum in one go. You could structure this money for 25 years. Like the income, say that income that the spouse was bringing in was bi-weekly, 2,000 to 4,000 every 2 weeks, right? That money can be structured that way so that the income keeps coming in as such for 25 years. That is something amazing, right? So, and then the children get to go to college, plus there's financial security. So this is what it entails, right? Now, we have a lot of other strategies, but I'm just giving you 2 strategies today. So like I said, if you want to know what that number looked like for you, you don't have to be scared that you're going to die. No, think about the emotional stress you're going to put on your spouse and your children. Think about the trauma, having to think about it like, oh my God, when daddy was here. Oh my God, when mommy was here. Oh my God, oh my God. Please let the oh my God be, oh my God, we miss you, darling. But guess what? They have a smile on your face and they're like, they look up to heavens and they're like, bless you for doing this, right? That is financial responsibility, right? So in conclusion, the death of a major breadwinner in this scenario, like I said, right? We don't pray for any family to experience this, but we know this is a fact of life, right? The scenario that I'm giving you right now is to show you that life insurance serves as a crucial safety net, ensuring that even in the face of loss, such as death of a breadwinner, right? The financial future is protected by planning ahead and securing your family's life today. You can safeguard your loved ones against unpredictable suffering and ensure that they are taken care of even long after you're gone, right? So, like I said, if you want to book that appointment with me, you want to click the link in my bio for a free 30 minutes call. And then I have a link for 10 minutes approval. If you don't want to bother about my face, you're like, Helen, don't worry, I got this. I'm very good. You can click the ATOS link that I have there. In little as 10 to 15 minutes, you can get an approval, right? It doesn't matter if you want to protect your mortgage, protect your loved ones, whatever situation you want to deal with. And guess what? If you even have a debt up to your neck, you can sit with me on that appointment and I'll show you what that looks like in a very, very fast 30 minutes, consultation with me. It's all free. You don't get to pay anything, right? Remember that I care so much about you and I love you and I want to see you keep winning, especially in the diaspora today, right? Remain blessed and till next time, have a wonderful one, right? Bye-bye for